Now, you said that with aging, our ability to use smaller amounts of protein decreases. First question is, what's aging? Is that my 80-year-old grandmother? Or?
It is, and it's your 25-year-old nephew as well.
It starts that young when we're talking about that.
It's really starting. It's not something that we need to focus on as put a particular number on it. I think that's kind of a misleading way to consider it. You know, in science, we tend to have cut-off points. 65 and older is an older population, for convenience sake, for research grouping. But when we look at sarcopenia, loss of muscle mass with age, it really starts to appear probably in the late 30s and certainly by the 40s, where if you're not continually active and working on it, you will start to see that slight decrease. It's not a lot, 1% per year or so, but it slowly marches on.
Yeah. So this is for sure at least a middle-age health issue. We're not just talking about old age.
No, absolutely. And when we're talking about the interventions, trying to protect, preserve muscle mass and function, and ultimately things like bone health as well, interventions like nutrition and exercise aren't something that you magically apply once you hit 50 or 60. These are lifestyle changes that are just as relevant for my grandmother, or my daughter. So it's really something that you want to put in place, because if you go through most of your life with a certain poor eating habit pattern, you're not going to change that miraculously one day. And this isn't just about building muscle or staving off frailty. This is about really just general health. So these principles hold true throughout your adult life.
Now, you're talking about muscle loss or muscle building, using protein for muscle building. Are you talking about people who are interested in muscle building exercise actively? This is something my sons are very interested in. Or are you talking about the general health recommendation that we have for everybody who should be doing strength training and trying to make sure that they're maintaining muscle? Why do we care about muscle unless we're if we're not doing bodybuilding contests?
Yeah, there's certainly a large group of athletes who are actively seeking to enhance performance by tweaking their diets. But in the research world, in my world, I'm really trying to target at-risk individuals, those groups like aging adults, NASA astronauts, if you like, folks with different types of disease processes and injuries, who are really at risk of just losing catastrophic amounts of muscle really quickly. So they're definitely the groups that I'm primarily interested in.
People on prolonged bed rest and things you've done a lot for.
Lifestyle interventions, prevention strategies are super important, but behaviour modification is really tricky. And we have quite a lot of information out there that can make a difference, but unless you're willing to really invest in that, it's not going to happen. The area that I think we can make the biggest impact is the really common scenario of someone who's hospitalised for 3 or 4 days. You put in hospital, you tend not to eat very well. You're in hospital because you've got an injury or disease process, so you have inflammation, and you're physically inactive, so muscle will drip off you. Now, if you are institutionalised, hospitalised, we have to feed you. So why not optimise, manipulate the diet, and we know by increasing the amount of protein moderately, not catastrophic changes, we can perhaps preserve some of that muscle mass, and ultimately we have function.
And that's where the distribution will come in too.